Once you bring life into the world, you must protect it. We must protect it by changing the world. Quote of the day. Let's get to our video. Chainlink on the annual chart against Bitcoin. We don't often look at Link versus BTC, but that's exactly what we're doing today. So annual candles. Each candle that you see is 1 year. So what are we seeing? What do we notice? Uptrend for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years consecutive. Last year was the only year, by definition, factual, that Link had an off year, right? Sketchy candles, I agree. The past couple years, right? Top wicks, selling pressure, but 5 green candles in a row, we're okay, right? Take a breath, right? We can do that. Let's zoom in and see if we can see anything, maybe on the 3-month candle. Remember, this is just Link versus Bitcoin, has nothing to do with fiat value. So it's position gaining or losing against your Bitcoin value. So Bitcoin losing against Chainlink for the first several years, right? Last bear market, 2018, right? Link said, hold my beer and watch this, right? Going on a massive uptrend from 2018 all the way to 2020 against Bitcoin, valued at the highest, right? The highest it got was near 17,000 Satoshis. So where am I getting those numbers? It's off to the right here. So it's just an easier form to say instead of 0.00090, right? Instead of doing all that, that's why sometimes you hear people evaluating the, whatever coin they're comparing in Satoshis. So 17,000 Satoshis is Link's peak moment against Bitcoin. The lowest, I'm glad you asked. It was right almost at 100. The low way back here, right on the dot, 100. The low of 2017, the 3-month candle, right at the end of the peak, right when Bitcoin was having its blow off top against fiat and US dollars. That's when it was the lowest value, which makes sense, right? If Bitcoin's having its moment, right, most coins are not doing so well against Bitcoin during that said time. So the low 100 Satoshis, the high 17,000 Satoshis. So if you take a measured move from the low to the top, Chainlink ran over 18,000% gain against Bitcoin. Think about that, right? Not a whole lot of coins did that. Zero from this time span, right? But very few ever have gone on Bitcoin runs in valuation against BTC. 18,000% plus, right? So obviously downtrend, which we're all familiar with in both fiat and against Bitcoin over the past, year or so. Will we turn that around again, right? Your guess is as good as mine. Most people think so. I would think so. What if let's just do some speculation here. Wait, what if this was just like kind of leg one, right? Let's dare to say that. And obviously speculation, so just roll with it here. So let's say we just started leg one and, we're just having a breather year, right? Leg 2. Leg 3 would likely be the longest and most intense. So let's say, Bitcoin has a fizzle year and altcoins start to go berserk the next bull cycle, sometime between now and I would say the peak, maybe 2025, 2026, for, peaks against fiat. So maybe something like that. Maybe we, break, I don't know where the peak would be, but let's say like wave 1 for Elliott wave theory, leg 2 would be down, leg 3, likely and usually the longest. And then, right, maybe our next bear cycle, we come back down. We kind of hold that maybe 17,000 Satoshi area, 20,000 Satoshis. And then, for our next bull cycle, we do something, something similar to that, right? Loosely fit and obviously highly speculative at this moment. So that's taking us out almost for the next, 8 years or so. So give or take something like that, bear cycle against Bitcoin, altcoins do quite well. Maybe the next bull cycle, Bitcoin doesn't do quite as good, right? If Bitcoin throws in another, 5-6x, gets to 100K, let's say, altcoins will likely do considerably more than that. And their valuations against Bitcoin would likely do, very special things. And so we're assuming that would happen and Chainlink maybe go to, something like that. So if you were to look at, whatever Bitcoin valuation is, you would just divide that by Satoshis and you would get your fiat US dollar number. So let's end the speculation and let's just look at more hardcore facts, because like I said, we haven't looked at Chainlink against BTC in a long while. So let's look at the weekly chart. We're often looking at weekly charts, daily charts. So that's where we are. And again, noting that the massive uptrend right here, right? And sometimes it's easier to see trends ending and beginning by using the most simplistic chart of all, and that would be a line chart. But when you start to do this, then you get a lot of lines. So I would invite to remove all indicators, right? And then you can see that, you know, the uptrend for the most part, right, loosely fit. The purpose of trend lines is to identify the trend, not necessarily be like, you know, the ultimate break or make point. So there's your uptrend. Uptrends are drawn from the bottom, and then conversely, right, downtrends drawn from the top. So you could loosely fit that as well. And it's, again, it's a loose fit, right? You don't want to take this with like the ultimate. What if we break this, Chase? Does that mean go all in? No. One, it's against Bitcoin. And two, well, let's retrofit this and let's see what the best fit would look like. Well, look at the fake out there, right? So it's a loose, trying to find a general time frame where the trend will is reversing in a bigger way, right? It's not meant to as soon as you break it, get out, go all in, whatever, right? We're looking at trends and that's it, right? Uptrend, downtrend, clear as day, right? About as simple as you can make it on a weekly chart. Link against Bitcoin is bleeding against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the better coin to be holding since the peak, August of 2020. Ideally, right? If you had a crystal ball or you're a doc and you could go back in time, you would sell all of your Chainlink right there and then flip it to Bitcoin. And then once we start flipping back to, said uptrend, like once we do this again, who knows when, right? And we start to do another uptrend, then you flip and sell all your Bitcoin back to Chainlink. And then you're increasing your Bitcoin value against Chainlink, right? That's kind of the ultimate purpose of holding altcoins, is you want to outperform Bitcoin, right? Otherwise, why wouldn't you just hold the king of crypto, right? Less gains, right? That's what most of you are probably saying. Bitcoin's not going to do 100x, and I would agree with you. It's already done that. But it is the most safe for wealth preservation, okay? If you're not gaining on the safe one, and your probably own words, or they're the boring one, right? Bitcoin is rather boring at times. If your coin is not outperforming it, why are you holding it? So look at your favorite coins, whatever you have the most of. It better be looking pretty good against Bitcoin. Now, yeah, for the last year, Chainlink has not looked that good. But if you were to just draw from, entry, right, the first part on the chart to your next point in the chart, right, that's an uptrend. There are many, many, many coins that do not look like this from beginning to end comparing to Bitcoin. And if that's one of your coins, I would probably rethink your process going forward to the next bull cycle. From me to you, do it. If you have an uptrend from beginning to end, right where we are now, don't cheat, right? Pull up a chart, wherever your longest chart is, and it needs to have an uptrend. I don't care if it's even like that or barely up, but it cannot, and I'm telling you this because there's a lot of coins that the chart looks like this from the beginning, not from its all-time high against Bitcoin. I'm talking period against Bitcoin, right? There's a lot of them. Get out of those alts. If they underperform Bitcoin for its entire life so far, why would you think it's going to change, right? It's all, being married to your coins. It's the next 58 million X in the next 47 seconds. Get out of that mindset. The charts tell you the truth. Everything else is made up. So that's the weekly. How about the daily? Let's get back to reality here a little bit and focus on kind of the short term. Still downtrend, right? But let's get back out of the regular stuff, right? Let's put on our moving averages, see if we have any kind of movement whatsoever against Bitcoin. And, since, summertime, May, June, we have made a little bit of a move here against Bitcoin. Now, the concerning part here is I feel like that 6-month uptrend has ended. Why do I say that? Well, remember what we just drew, right? From the bottoms, right? This is kind of where your uptrend started, right? We're making higher lows, the peaks and troughs, right? Here's your peaks. You need to learn your terminology correctly. These are peaks, right? These low parts, those are called troughs. You connect the troughs on uptrends. You connect the peaks on downtrends. Or you can draw a channel, right? This is called a channel. You could draw it like this, right? And you can see why it's called a channel, hopefully, right? You have two lines and they just kind of bounce around, right? So the peaks and troughs, and we have broken the lost trough, right? We just made a new lower low right here against Bitcoin. That is concerning for the next several weeks to months because we're on a daily chart. We're not looking years out here, right? You need to have perspective of what chart you're looking at, but this is where we are, right? We're rolling over. By definition, the trend has broken, right? That's how you know the trend is broken. It's not when whatever your favorite influencer says it's broken. It's when the facts in the chart said it's broken, and it's broken right there when it made a lower low. Plain and simple, right? So that's that. Link is in trouble, at least for the short term, against Bitcoin, right? This has nothing to do with fiat. I know it's hard to wrap your head around that if you're new to that concept. So yeah, so if you're holding a bunch of Link and 0 Bitcoin, that's kind of the alert here, right? You're bleeding against Bitcoin, right? Your Link is losing value against Bitcoin, right? This is why, like, bear markets against US dollars, right? You might as well just hold US dollars because your altcoins are losing value against US dollars, right? And that's why you hold it in a bull market, because you're gaining value against fiat, right? There's no point in holding plain boring USD if you have coins doing 2, 3, 4, 5x multiples of that, right? So hopefully it makes sense. A little bit more of a teaching kind of video here, so hopefully you like that. I know there's probably only 3 or 4 of you watching this at this point, and those are the people that will do well in the long term. So if you're one of those people, kudos to you. You will do well if you keep at it, right? Keep learning. This is how you do it. This is the time to do it, not when coins are doing 30x all-time highs, right? That's usually when you get burned, and that's when people buy, and that's when people get upset at these moments. And those are the people that are now, working jobs that they hate. So that's the point, right? Learn now, pays off later. Okay. So that's that. You did quote of the day at the beginning. If you want to see it again, restart the video and watch it again. Card of the day, just a little minor, $5 million Pagani Huayra in ice pearl paint and carbon fiber literally everywhere. And happened to get one of these for Christmas in the big 1/12 scale. I only have 2 1/12 scales because they're stupid amounts of money, but they're highly detailed. And they have like real carbon fiber, real leather. I have this one, and I have one other. I don't know if I've showed it. It's a McLaren P1 in the 1/12 scale. So highly detailed. I love them. I love cars. If you haven't been able to tell, that's only about 10% of what I actually have. They're all around my room. I love them. And someday, maybe I'll hold a key instead of a model. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully you're having a great day. I'll see you on the next video. I've already said that in the video now.